Okay, so first of all, I have here average daily temperatures in England in 2019. And the table starts on the 1st of January and then goes all the way till the 31st of December. My first step will be to type out all of the days of the week. Then in this column, I'm going to put the weeks of the year, starting from 0, and then holding down Control and click and dragging until I get to 52. As there are 52 weeks in the year, and the first week and the last week will only be partial weeks. Then I'll type in the first day of the year again, the 1st of January, and then change the formatting on this to a custom number format, which will be DDD and then a space, and that will give me the day of the week. And then also to save space, I'll remove the last two Y's and OK. And now we can see that the 1st of January 2019 was a Tuesday, so I'll move this across. And then to get the next day, I'll do this date plus 1, and then drag this across. And each time I'm just adding 1 onto the previous day. Then here it will be this date plus 1. And then here, this date plus 1. I can then drag this across. Now I have the second row set up. I can select all of this and double click to fill in the rest of the table. Then at the bottom, you'll see the 31st of December is also a Tuesday. So I'll just delete all of the days from 2020. And now I have all of the dates lined up the way I want them. I will just make all of these columns a little thinner. And now copy the headings for the rows and the columns to the side. And in here, I'm going to put in a VLOOKUP formula. I'm going to look up this date here in this table, and then press F4 to make that an absolute reference so the table doesn't move around. Then the column index number will be 2 because I want it to show me the temperature. And the range lookup will be false for an exact match, and close brackets and enter. Then I will just make all of these columns a little bit thinner so it's easier to see the numbers. And if I drag this formula across, you'll see here it's looking for the 1st of January in this table and then finding the temperature, which is 8 degrees. And then here it's looking at the 6th of January in this table and the temperature is 6.3 degrees. Now I will drag this across and select the whole of the first row and double click to send it all the way down. And we'll see here that the 7th of January is 8.4 degrees. And if I check the last date as well, that is 5.2 degrees. And here is also 5.2 degrees. So we know the formula is working correctly. And I now have the temperatures laid out the way I want them. The next step is to add in some conditional formatting. So select all of the table and go to conditional formatting and color scales, and I want warmer temperatures to be red and cooler temperatures to be blue. Now I also want each of these cells to be a perfect square, so I'm going to select all of the columns and change the column width to 2. Then I don't want to be able to see any of the numbers in this table, so I'm going to select the whole thing again and change the number formatting to a custom number format, which is going to be semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. And 3 semicolons will make the numbers invisible. And OK. And now I just have coloured squares. The next thing I want to do is add in borders to separate out each of the months using some conditional formatting. So I will test the formula here first, which is going to be equals month. I'm going to test to see whether this month here is not equal to the month in the cell right below it. And this greater than, less than symbol here is Excel's way of testing for whether something is not equal. And I've copied the formatting across, so we'll clear the formatting, then drag this across 7 cells and double click to send this down and make all of the columns a little bit skinnier. And here I have the first set of true values and then more true values here. And that is because it is doing a test to see what the month of this date is, which is January, and what the month of this date is, February. And then it's testing to see whether these 2 months are not equal to each other. And it is true that they are not equal. And if we continue looking down here, we can see when it changes from February to March as well. So now we know the formula is working. I'm going to copy the formula in the first cell, then select all of the coloured squares and add in a conditional formatting rule. The rule will be using a formula, and I will just Control V to paste in the formula. Then the formatting that we will apply will be a border on the bottom of the cell, and OK again. And now if I scroll down, you'll see we have a border separating out each of the months. The next thing I want is to have a vertical border on the right hand side showing the last day of the month. And this will require a different formula, which will be equals EO month, which is the formula in Excel to find the last day of the month. So we'll start by selecting this cell here, which will be the day, and then the number of months will be 0 because I want to find the last day for this month. And close brackets and enter, and then drag this across and change the formatting to a date, and then make the columns wider. And I will double click to send this down. Now the first cell doesn't work properly because it is just looking at a blank cell, so we'll delete that. But here you'll see it's looking for the last day of this month, which is the 31st of January. And it gives me that date for all of the days in January until we get to the first day in February, when it starts giving me the last day of February instead. And then the test for this is just whether this date here is equal to the last day of the month, and enter. And then we'll drag this across and then double click to send it down. And now we have one true value here because this is the last day in January, and another true value here for the last day in February, and also one here for the last day of March. So now we know that the formula is working. We will copy the formula in the first cell and select all of the coloured squares again and insert a new conditional formatting rule using a formula, and then paste in the formula we just copied. And this time the formatting will be a border on the bottom and the right hand side, and OK again. And now you'll see that we have the vertical black line, which is the border on the right hand side of the last day of each month. Now I'm also going to add in borders all the way around the edge of this. I no longer need any of this because that was just me testing. And I no longer need the weeks either because I was just using that to make sure I got the correct number of rows. Then down the side, I'll merge all of these cells together and type in January, and then align that to the right and then the center and rotate the text upwards. And I will do that for all of the other months as well. Okay, and now I will go to View and remove all of the grid lines. Then I'll select all the way around this and go to Home and put in a thick outside border. Okay, and now I can remove the bar at the top and then select all of this again and then zoom out to fit the selection. And now we can see the whole of the picture all in one go. I am now going to select all of these cells and go to Home and Conditional Formatting and Manage Rules. Then select this rule here and edit it. And I'm going to change the colours so that I have a darker blue and also a darker red. And I will make the midpoint a light grey, and OK again. And now I have the image the way I want it. So the red colours in the summer months show the warmer temperatures, and the blue colours in the winter months show the cooler temperatures. Okay, so in this video I have shown you how to make a calendar heat map in Excel, and that is everything.